the Spikers serve Open Conference 2019. It's the third game of our triple header. We come to you from the Paco Arena, where two teams coming off, well, losses, both of them, but in different manners, equally heartbreaking. However, the MAPUA University Cardinals going up against the UST Golden Spikers. Jot Sulit here alongside Sheila Salaysay and Sheila. These two teams really looking to bounce back, and we know they have the ability to really compete at this level. It's a matter of getting that first win in and, you know, strolling the rest of the way.
You know, I'm certain that these two teams will fight back, you know, and are pumped up to get that first win.
Absolutely. Let's first take a look at the team standings of Group D, where these two teams lie. As you see there, only 4 teams have seen action. And unfortunately, UST and MAPUA were 2 of the 4 who absorbed losses in their opening games.
That's correct. And, you know, MAPUA losing to Santa Elena in their previous match, while UST also, you know, were defeated by Arellano previously.
Absolutely. And, of course, it's a brand new tournament. It's unique because you have 24 teams. Let's take a look at how this tournament will unfold. Sheila, would you walk us through this, please?
That's correct. Well, 24 teams grouped into 4 pools, battling in a single round robin. The top 2 teams of each pool will go head-to-head to buy a spot in the semifinal round, which is done in the best-of-3 series. And for the final round, the battle for bronze will be a knockout game, and the battle for gold, of course, is another best-of-3 series.
In the reinforced conference, we already had so many teams, you know, vying for that championship. It was already entertaining. What more, having 24 teams as you take a look at the participating teams. 6 teams per pool. We have 4 pools.
That's correct. And we have an equally distributed, you know, teams, 10 of which are club teams, and of course 14 is school-based teams. You have Soaring Falcons, Signal, the Generals, IEM, the Wildcats, and VNS for Pool B.
And of course, you take a look at the other side of this graphic, and in Pool D, once again, you'll see MAPUA and UST. Sheila, what interests me the most is it's a mix of school-based teams, club teams. This will really bring out the best out of every club.
I totally agree.
And it's going to be interesting. Who will be able to take their first win here in the Open Conference? Will it be the MAPUA University or UST? The start of this match in just a bit.
Presenting our officials for this match. First referee, Mr. Yul Benosa, international referee. Second referee, Mr. James Oliver Mora, national referee. Let us welcome our starters from our team from MAPUA University. Team captain is number 15, Emmanuel Hizon. At number 2, Mark Jason Egan. Wearing jersey number 11, Alfredo Pangulong. Number 12, Izran Zaniel Florendo. Number 13, John Benedict San Andres. And number 18, Carl Tabios. Liberos are number 10, Jeremy Santos. And number 14, John Ivan Silva. Head coach, Mr. Paul Jan Dolores. Calling on our Golden Spikers of the University of Santo Tomas. Team captain is number 16, Manuel Andre Medina. At number 3, Charles Magpayo. Number 8, John Lawrence Senyoron. Number 12, Gen Corda. Number 15, Genesis Alan Redido. And number 18, Lawrence Cruz. Liberos are number 1, Lester Kim Sawal. And number 13, Jelen J. Mendola. Head coach, Mr. Arthur Oji Mamon. This is match.
Coach Oji Mamon always sporting a smile on his face. They will be going up against the Mapua Cardinals. Will be starting with Egan Hizon, Pagulong, San Andres, Florendo, Tabios, and then their libero in Santos, the same unit they started with in their opening match. And on the other side, it's going to be Senyoron, Corda, Medina, Redido, Magpayo Cruz, and their libero, Mendiola. An interesting sight here, Sheila, before this match began, we saw Coach Oji Mamon having a light moment with the coaching staff of Mapua University because Paul Dolores, Coach Paul, used to play for Coach Oji in UST. And Coach Oji was telling them, sa kayo nagpupunta, umupo nga kayo dyan sa bench natin.
And even the coach's uniform on the Mapua side doesn't even have the shade of an orange instead of more of a yellowish for the Tigers.
I wonder if they brought the wrong shirt. I'm pretty sure not, though. But look, Mapua, you know, they are coming into this match as the underdogs, but they get the first say.
Well, you know, since in their first appearance, I believe they are mas ganadong makakuha ng panalo for this game.
Oh, that's going to be 2 points to open this match for Mapua as that attack from Medina sails too wide. What's going to be important for the Cardinals here to set the tone early in this match?
That's correct. In their previous match, in the first set, they only got 8 on the first set, so that's a single digit. They were dominated completely, by Santa Elena.
Well, Medina redeems himself on his second attack. Mapua unable to handle it. And Medina will be serving for UST. Once again, both teams still looking for their first win here in the Open Conference. Good dig there for Sawal. They go to their leading scorer in their first match. Senyoron delivers.
Senyoron had 21 big points, and contributed in their game against, that was Arellano.
That was such an entertaining match. It even needed an extension in the 5th set. But Arellano just having that edge towards the end of the match. And this time, Mapua using the double block to score there.
I have to say the system that the coaches of Mapua and the system of USD under Coach Oji doesn't, have a very big difference. Because, pareho galing na UST, so definitely their approach and the coaching style will be a bit similar. But that attack by Redido will be checked, and that point will go to UST.
The line judge initially ruled it outside, but other officials saw that there was a touch, and that call was corrected. So it's Corda serving right now. 3 apiece for UST and Mapua in the opening set. Good service. Tabios. Oh, that's going to be a violation. Double touch.
Off timing. A setup, a jump set by the setter of Mapua. Unfortunate error.
So Corda will be back at the service area. 4-3 UST ahead. Loaded serve. The setup. Oh, they were blocked there. A wall put up by UST.
Triple block. Defended that net against Mapua. And that is solid against these guys in orange and no coverage.
When Mapua lost to Santa Elena, that's where they had difficulties. They only had 2 blocks in that entire match, while Santa Elena had 13 blocks on MAPUA attacks. So that's where the difficulty lied for the Cardinals. But they adjust and they get a point this time coming from Egan.
Well, Medina, the team captain, already in the back row, but then still trying to find that gap in the blocker.
Egan now serving. His serve too strong. That's going to be a point for UST. He apologizes immediately to his team. Mark Egan top scored for MAPUA in their last match. Even with just 9 points, he already was the top scorer, and that just paints a picture of how much MAPUA struggled, especially on the offensive end.
That's correct, and the challenge for them for this game is that, if some other teammates will step up in order for them to cope with this match. But another error again was called against UST.
So error is actually becoming a large part of this first set. San Andres puts it in play.
Good adjustment.
Good blocking, but the angle was too tough.
Manjola, the libero of UST, was aggressive and seeing those check balls, pero kinulang.
It's pretty tight here in the first set, 6 apiece. And when sets are tight, that errors like that, they really, you feel the sting of those towards the end of every set.
That's correct. Well, especially that is the second service error of MAPUA.
Redito now at the service line. They attack San Andres. Oh! Almost mistimed, but it turns out to be a blessing in disguise for MAPUA.
Well, that's a quick move by a drop there. And Menjola almost, getting that pancake.
It was this guy who scored that one, Florendo. Once again, evening up the count. Good serve for him as well. UST able to handle it. Chance ball. Tabios. And that is a strong attack for MAPUA. And that brings us to our first technical timeout. The Cardinals off to a strong start here.
Alanganin na yung receive. Pwede naman isubo sa kanya.
Kalo po kasi
Basta pumasok ka lang, siya nang bahala mag-abuse.
Magtiwala ka
Magtiwala ka lang sa kanya.
bago pag binago.
Basta sumunod ka lang. Ha? Okay ha? Kailangan pa makablock tayo. Usap lang kung sino yung ano. Commit ng commit sa quicker natin. Talon ng talon yung quicker ha. Kaya sabi sa game. Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Jeremy, hindi ka naman. Sabi ba? Buha! Pasok na.
Back inside the Paco Arena, MAPUA University with a strong start here. Once again, just because of the loss that they absorbed against Santa Elena, many thought they were the underdogs coming into this match against UST. But boy, the Cardinals, fiery to begin this match with. And they were the ones who led us to our first technical timeout, Sheila.
That's right, and in the last timeout, Coach Oji was telling some instructions to the libero on how to read those kind of attacks.
Also, the game's on Thursday on your screens. Do know that every Spiker Serve game day is a triple header, so that's going to be a treat for everyone. The UST coming off of that technical timeout, eager to bounce back, eager to get their game going. But you know that Coach Oji, he's not shy to express when he's unhappy with the way his players are playing. I'm sure there were words of encouragement in that huddle. However, MAPUA putting on the pressure. Pagulong, and look at that. Coach Oji just burying his face on his hand. Still unhappy. You would be too if you're UST trailing in this first set. Medina. Oh, there was an opening on the defense of MAPUA.
You have Hizon and Egan, tall blockers on the side of MAPUA. However, there was a gap, and that Medina found a way to hit that cross court.
You could tell by the way he hit that ball. Talking about Lawrence Cruz, you could tell that there was something that was not right in that serve, and kind of expected that to fall short. On the other side, it's going to be Pagulong. His will be long. We've seen a lot of service errors here, Sheila, from both teams.
Well, and then again, for UST, that is favorable as, they don't have to work hard to get those points. That's already 3 easy points for them.
MAPUA against Santa Elena also committed so many errors that really led their downfall. They're trying to correct that today. Mendiola. They initiate Señoron, but the floor defense was there from MAPUA. MAPUA's turn, they get blocked. Mendiola will go to Redido. And there was the double block, but ball is still alive.
Great defense here by MAPUA.
The Cardinals thought the ball was done, that they had scored a point, but no, UST says. And Señoron, was there a wipe? No, the point goes to MAPUA.
And I am liking how MAPUA has been improving when it comes to their floor and net defense. And that is one department that, they lack in their previous match.
Absolutely. And they've come into this match unfazed, unafraid of who stands in front of them. He's on, will be serving now. 11 serving 10. Received by Redido. Cruz goes to Redido again, but the block was there. It wasn't scored though. And that will be a violation on MAPUA University.
Unfortunate for MAPUA, but that was easily seen by our officials.
The combination of Egan, well, that time it wasn't Egan in the play, but the blocking of MAPUA, the coverage at the net has been spectacular to begin this match with. San Andres falls short.
Too low for an attack for San Andres.
And UST has regained advantage here. It was a block connected by Señoron. Florendo on the other side for MAPUA. This is Corda rather serving. Tabios will go to Egan. Try to look for that opening. Medina from the back row. No. Tabios initiates Egan, and that works for the Cardinals.
But Koda was one step late to get to that ball. No, he knew that it's going down the line.
Some player shuffles here for Coach Paul Doloiras. Serving now is Pulga.
Well, still, services is causing a toll on the side of MAPUA.
That's 4 service errors already for MAPUA, and just as we mentioned, they had a total of error count against Santa Elena was 31 compared to only 13 for the ball hammers. Good serve there. MAPUA also able to make something out of that. Cruz will go to the back row. Señoron, that one was not over. And it's going to be a point for MAPUA. We're even once again at 13 all.
That hit from the back, a bit of off timing for Señoron.
San Andres with the serve. Redido. Cruz. That doesn't work for Magpayo. Redido will try, and he will convert.
The thing about Redido's attack is it's always going cross-court, but that is, the difficulty that MAPUA cannot cover Zone 5.
He saw that opening and exposed it. Over-received, but, that could have been a regalo for UST, but they did not expect it, and eventually It was a point from MAPUA.
Both teams were surprised in that last sequence, but it was, it was a UST misreading that ball.
MAPUA's really put some pressure on UST here, but once again, Sheila, errors have been dooming them.
In their previous timeout, these guys of MAPUA says we have to lessen our errors, but that is not what is happening as of the moment.
In any sport, the thing is, in any sport really, you can beat yourself. That's you can self-destruct with errors, and it's highlighted in volleyball rather, because every error turns into a point for the opponent.
That's what makes it more difficult. And the more you think about not committing errors, it happens the opposite.
That's very true. That time the coverage of UST not ready for that attack. And MAPUA once again tying things up. What did we talk about? But even with the errors they've committed, MAPUA still doing a good job keeping in step with UST, but UST has reached 16. We enter our second technical timeout.
Galing sa service, parang dumidepensa lang kayo ng open block. Hindi nyo binubunggo nyo lang, pinapatama nyo lang sa... Nawala na kayo sa basic Laging basic, laging fundamentals ng volleyball Double na yung shot mo. Talong ka na naman ng talon. Tingin muna. Minamadali mo yung mga quicker mo. Ang babagal. Hindi mo kailangan talunin kung wala pa naman sila. Kung nandiyan dyan na, sige.
You're back with us inside the Paco Arena for the Spikers Turf Open Conference 2019. UST taking a 1-point lead against MAPUA as we come off our second technical timeout. Your observations in this match so far, Sheila?
Well, based on Coach Oji's reminder, back to basics, back to fundamentals. So it means one good serve, good pass, set, and then receive. That's what they should think. And in the earlier events or sequences of our game, there have been lapses when it comes to the defense of UST.
Good serve for Cruz. Not a good first ball, but Medina making the most of that opportunity. It's been a while since a team held a 2-point lead in this first set. That's how close things have been here. Cruz once again. And that is actually the very first ace of this ball game. Lawrence Cruz, you feel the power from that serve.
And Lawrence Cruz is not, one of the tallest guys for UST.
A bit too ambitious that time, and that service falls short. It's going to be a point for MAPUA. I thought UST was already threatening to pull away. Medina, that is out. That's a point for MAPUA.
It was a great attack though. You can see no blockers to defend that net for MAPUA, and Medina taking advantage of that opportunity.
Just miscalculating that hit. They go back to Medina. The block was there this time, but Medina just uses that in order to score.
You can see how well he can make adjustments mid-air. Medyo bitin na yung set doon, but then he was able to hit that one.
And you can tell that Manuel Medina is the guy that UST turns to whenever they need some order. But as you say that, he commits that service error.
And consecutive errors this time from the service line for the Tigers.
The story of the first set, it's been MAPUA and UST, both of them giving points to their opponents. because of some errors they've committed. Cruz this time will go to Redido, and Redido will get that point for UST. A violation there.
Yes, errors after errors. That's what hinders MAPUA from getting that rhythm. Our scores are very close this time.
Those errors are really starting to hurt MAPUA here. They get a chance here. Egan. Oh, that's a point for UST. They were ready for that attack from Egan.
Yeah, that won't go over the net though. Another error.
And that forces MAPUA to call a timeout. One more look at that. Attack was not over. And that's why UST has taken a 3-point lead. Let's listen into the huddle of the Cardinals.
Oh, endgame tayo ha. Bawas tayo ng error ha. Okay, kapit lang ha.
Less errors tayo.
Pag binigyan kayo ng bola, kumpiyansa lang ha. Takayin nyo ha.
Well, MAPUA's locked in step one of correcting their mistakes. They understand it. They know what's happening. They're committing too many errors, and that's why the reminder from the very first timeout up to now has remained the same. Let's lessen our errors.
That's correct. The thing is, UST plays a bit fast. Ang nangyayari, it is the Tigers dictating the tempo, which, it's not the same bilis and speed
That's
that
right.
MAPUA has.
Well, remember from the start of this first set, it was actually MAPUA putting on the pressure on UST, but that has completely flipped now. As UST, this is already the biggest lead of this game, of this match, 4 points. UST looking to add more to this, as they have Corda at the service line once again. However, it turns out to be an error on his part. He will get subbed out immediately as Sawal checks into the match. It's not yet impossible for MAPUA, Sheila, as they're only down by 3, but they've got to make their move now. Cruz goes to Magpayo, and that is in for Magpayo. Another point for UST. Another timeout here called by MAPUA. The Tigers 2 points away from taking the first set.
So wala sa timing, hindi pili. Tinan mo, nagpa-play 1 ka bago may sibat ka pa doon sa dulo. Nasaan ang porsyento mo? Ha? Kailangan lagi tayo may porsyento. Hilahin natin dito yung bola. Kasi yung porsyento natin, kung gusto mo porsyento mo nandito, hilahin mo doon yung receive. Pasimplihin lang natin. Huwag natin pahirapan yung sarili natin. Kaya pa yan.
Well, we didn't hear the word error in that huddle anymore, but it's more of, verbally we heard it. Yeah, pasimplehin natin yung laro. Let's not make it difficult. Because MAPUA has shown that they can, they can play with UST. They can keep in step, as we've said earlier. But little errors have really cost them.
Right, and that will take us back again to, fundamentals. Dito naman nawawala ang MAPUA in that part of the set.
Abios goes to San Andres, but the double block was there. Neutralized by Magpayo.
It's an easy read for the blockers of UST because, Magpayo, San Andres has been attempting to hit, that ball a couple of times already.
And the defense of UST has taken a large part of the confidence of MAPUA away. But what gives confidence to the other team is an error. And that's what UST gave there. MAPUA with a chance to draw closer. On the back row, Medina. Good coverage. Oh, a beautiful play there. It was Pagulong finding that opening using a soft touch. And he deceived the defense of UST that time.
That's a smart attack because there was a big hole, at the back of the blockers.
They go this time. De La Cruz sent back. MAPUA. This time they score on that cross-court hit. Pagulong has resuscitated the Cardinals here in the first set after falling behind by 2 points. Back-to-back points for Alfredo Pagulong, and suddenly MAPUA knocking on the door of UST.
Sobrang. Hindi lang nilihis, lalo lang nung paharap. Nakabanggit ko lang dito kanina
Not really a lot said in that huddle.
But I believe Coach Oji is talking about blocking. Sabi niya hindi naman nilihis ni Pagulong yung atake niya, but it's just you need to be able to read.
San Andres trying to give life back to MAPUA. UST a point away from taking the first set, and there it is. It's Redido who delivers the exclamation point as the UST Golden Tigers take the first set in this match against MAPUA. One more look at that cross-court attack. San Andres just a bit too late in getting to that ball. And now it's UST with a 25-22 win in the first set. Spikers turf, open conference, both these teams looking for their first win. Again, they come off equally heartbreaking losses. MAPUA, they got deconstructed in that last match. UST came from a close loss. We'll bring you the second set in just a bit. Set one, you see the statistics there and equal number of errors. Imagine almost half of the points scored of each team actually came from errors of the other.
That's right. No, MAPUA started the first set aggressive, but then when they started committing a lot of errors both at the service line and the offense, and that was taking advantage by Golden Spikers. Although they had committed the same number of service errors, 5 apiece, but the Tigers able to cope from their offense towards the end of the set.
Sheila, what does it tell you when only one ace was scored in the entire set?
Well, clearly, we've been counting their service errors, and they are still trying to figure out or finding that rhythm But I'm pretty sure, both of these teams still. Let's see if UST can sustain that momentum on their side.
Senyoron trying to get himself going here. Mapua, pagulong. Was it? It's out, but a check ball. So it's going to be for Mapua.
A bit of confusion from our first referee to our linesman. And that block sailed out. Favorable of Mapua.
Here's UST, Medina. Drop ball, doesn't work. Miscalculation there from Mapua, giving a chance for UST. They go back to Medina, he tries the same attack. And once again, it doesn't work.
Well, Medina was a little bit uncertain at the kind of attack. Akala niya katabi niya yung sideline. And that was a good read by the defenders of Mapua.
So just like they did in the first set, Mapua off to a strong start here. It hits the antenna though on the serve. That doesn't happen every day. Free point for UST. Team captain Manuel Andre Medina serving for the Golden Tigers.
That's an excellent serve.
Egan. Good defense there for UST. Chance ball given up by Mapua. Cruz, combination, Senyoron, sent back. Oh, good save there. Ball still alive. It's a good rally between UST and Mapua here. Who will take the point? Egan. He is sent back.
No, Egan trying to hit that off speed, seeing the two blockers in front of him.
The defense was just ready. And that's also a statistic that was loudly, noticeable in the first set. Mapua with 0 block points, and UST, well, they weren't that much better, only 2 for them. But that's a regalo, and remember back in the first set, UST was not able to capitalize.
Right.
This time, Sheila, they made sure they get a point out of this.
And that was Senyoron reading, that drop very well.
That's actually the second time that Mapua miscalculated that kind of a play. That's 3 straight points now for UST, but their rally ends there.
And you see how smart Egan was in that last hit. You see the wipe from of the ball to the blocker's hands. So definitely that's going to be a point for them.
They go back to Senyoron. Good defense. San Andres off speed. Redido was there. UST trying to come up with something here. They go back to Redido. San Andres with a dig. And it's not over. A point for UST.
Senyoron becoming more aggressive. Nakita na niya dikit yung bola sa net and inunahan yung spiker ng Mapua. And that's intimidation at the same time, off timing for the attackers of Mapua.
I agree with you 100%. Intimidation. And I want to go back to what you mentioned earlier. Yung kapag ka ayaw mo magkamali, the more errors you commit.
Right.
And I think that's what we're seeing right now from Mapua. Redito, a smart play there, just using the blocker of Mapua. You see it here. He knew exactly what to do because it was already almost a lost cause for them. Coming out of nowhere to save the day. San Andres hitting that hard off the block.
Now that's why San Andres, was very eager to hit those balls in the first set. You can see naman the caliber that this guy has.
And he doesn't slow down,
Yes.
even though he gets blocked, even though his attacks don't go in. He doesn't lose a step, and look at him get that block point, the first one in this match for Mapua.
San Andres getting a score here, back-to-back points, both in offense and defense.
Really showing his talent off here in the Spikers Turf Open Conference. Imagine, Sheila, we have 24 teams, and if your game is really put on display, you really establish yourself as, you know, one of the best probably players in, not just in amateur level,
Right.
but because you're competing against professionals already, against players who play and represent the country in the international level.
You know, that's what most the teams, especially our school-based teams and their coaches, feel. They are very lucky and a privilege to be part of our conference.
And of course, us here at One Sports, we also try to give that platform, enhance it for these players to widen the reach of their talents. Over received there by UST. He's on. Off-speed attack. UST ready for it. Medina. Now it's season again. Ball kept alive. It's still up in the air. But Redido could not save that anymore.
Senyoron, that's a good the chance for Senyoron to give that ball to the open because the blockers of Mapua are here. Binabantayan na yung opposite. But then medyo napalakas lang yung setup na yon and not adjusted in that last sequence.
Yeah, he had to decide whether he was going to give a chance ball or try to set up Redido. And Redido with back-to-back attack errors there. And he apologizes immediately to Coach Oji. And Coach Oji, I'm sure, will have some words for his boys here as we enter the first technical timeout.
Tatapat dun sa quicker, ha? Bago advantage ito si Bendito, maliit yung center. Ha? Huwag lang, dahan lang. Pag alanganin, huwag ipilit. Ha? Pag alanganin, pag nakita mong alanganin, huwag mo ipilit. Pag nakita mong nahihirapan ka kung kanino ka malapit, doon mo na ibigay. Ha? Pag nahihirapan ka, may backline pa tayo. Maraming option, basta huwag lang madaliin.
Sipag lang, sipag lang. Sige ba?
Discard mo na yan.
Mapua again taking an early lead here in the second set. They also did this back in the first set the tone early on. It's a matter now, Sheila, of maintaining their brilliant showing. They have played well behind this man, John Benedict San Andres.
Well, they have, again, a better start for this set. You know, less errors, able to control and dictate this part of the set.
Against Santa Elena, they were really wiped away. You know, that first set was 25-8. But I'm sure it also was a wake-up call for them that, okay, this is the kind of competition that you're going to be up against here in the Spikers turf. So now, Mapua a bit more ready, and UST just hitting that ball too long. Magpayo with an error. You guys are still watching the Spikers Turf 2019 Open Conference. Hashtag Our Turf, Our Time. Glad to be bringing you this on One Sports. This is already the third match of our triple header here on a Tuesday. Mapua with another service error. Redido will be serving for UST. They go to San Andres again. Net coverage there for UST. They are able to lift it. They go to Senyoron. Senyoron, it was covered. Good net D.
And a great defense for Mapua, but, well, unfortunate for that error, net touch. No, that is the team captain, he's on.
It was good defense for both teams, but Mapua was just caught in an awkward position because you saw it there. 3 guys were down on the floor already, so half of the team was not able to cover. Oh, attack again for Magpayo is too long. That's the second time that his quick was miscalculated.
Yeah, the first one was quick, and this time is a running attack.
Cruz, they still go to Magpayo, and this time he says, I got this one, coach.
You know, I like the trust that was given to Magpayo since, you know, you mentioned that 2 back-to-back attack errors already.
And I think Lawrence Cruz understands how important Charlie Magbayo is to their team. That even though there have been a couple of errors, you still want to get that guy going. But after a good hit, he commits another error. And now he gets taken out of the match in the meantime. He's on. 11 serving 9. MAPUA trailing 1-0 in set counts. And that is a good setup and an even better attack.
A good placing here by the middle attacker of UST. Well, that is Rainier Flor.
Cruz. Again, that great serve. Medina floating it over the net defense. Medina is really great at being able to read the defense and, you know, deciding what kind of attack he has to resort to this time. Look at this, defying the double block and finding that gap.
You know, Pagulong and Egan, actually, Florendo was already in position to see that drop. But then there was no communication, kaya naging uncertain sila who to get do that dig.
And the wall put up by UST again, sending that attack back. And we have a change of favor as the Tigers have taken the 12-11 lead here in the set number 2. Cruz has done a marvelous job at the service line, but Pagulong had seen enough of UST's run, puts an end to it.
Now, MAPUA has a lot of attackers here that can display, firepower. First one we saw was San Andres, and this time it's Pagulong doing the works when it comes to the offense.
Combination, Medina unable to go. He will try again and will score a point. It's so difficult to stop an attack from Medina.
But surely, especially, he has been given a couple, of points when it comes to his hits.
He will also be serving now for UST, the team captain of his team. Egan, good receive. Can they convert though? No, they cannot. That was not over, so 4 touches, a violation for MAPUA. Chile, if I remember correctly, back in the first set, it was also at this junction of the set where UST started to take command.
That's correct, and it's very unfortunate for MAPUA because this is also when they began to commit a lot of errors from the service line.
But this time it's UST who commits a service error. Medina could not get it past the net. Pagulong has been the life of MAPUA in this match. And well, just to stay true to what you mentioned, a service error for the Cardinals here. Kind of uncommon for those players, for Medina and Pagulong, to be the ones committing errors for their teams. They are usually the ones correcting the errors. San Andres gets the point there, wiping it off of the block of UST.
It wasn't actually one of the strongest attacks from San Andres. Talagang tinulak lang niya yung bola.
Lorendo puts it in play. Redido goes to Señoron. And that brings us to our second technical timeout. MAPUA has been trying to climb back, but UST always has an answer for the Cardinals.
Walang lakas niya. Walang lakas niya.
Ayun natin timing na nila.
Saka ganyan kalayo, ano, ganyan kalayo sa net. Diba sana kung ganyan ka sobra sa net. Pero try mo lang. Go. Grabe na. Try mo, Loren. Diretso tayo. Focus. Balas ako. Sino nagsiserve? Lorna. Let's go, let's go. UST. Tigers!
It feels like deja vu here in the second set. It feels like what had happened in the first set is repeating itself here, Sheila.
That's correct. Well, no, they always say that defense is the first line of offense, and every time that our coaches, calls for a timeout, that is the #1 reminder for our coaches here.
Well, speaking of defense and reminders from coaches, Coach Oji Mamon actually really demonstrating to Senyoron earlier in the huddle how he wants him to defend because he was saying na masyadong malapad daw
Yes.
yung kanyang blocking. Oh, a lucky break there for UST. That ball threatened to fall short,
And
but it just bounced over.
Right, he's on in the San Andres. No, not being able to talk who's to get that first ball.
Senyoron again. That time, too strong.
Now you can see the frustration for Senyoron. Every time, the second time at the service area, he commits an error.
And he's coming off a 21-point outburst in that match against Arellano. But this time, not really having the best of games yet. Mapua's chance. Good decision for San Andres, but good coverage for UST. He's on. Medina was there. Cruz goes to Senyoron. Too strong again. What's happening to his attack, Sheila? What could be an adjustment that he makes?
What I can see from Senyoron is that he's becoming too aggressive to get a point to his attacks. Ang nangyayari, nanggigigil siya, and that is one thing that you cannot control.
Very visible nga yung gigil ni Senyoron this time. Cruz trying to get creative. However, it turns out to be an error for UST. And guess what? We're tied again at 17. Egan serving for Mapua. Redido. Oh, slight miscommunication for Mapua. Cruz to Redido. And he's really frustrated at what had happened there.
Well, he's almost a bit delayed. Now you can see, ang layo na niya nung maabutan niya yung palo ni Redido.
And that is going to be out. Pulga just not finding the inside there, and UST once again taking a 2-point lead. They want to get a 2-set lead here, but Mapua will talk things over now.
Hindi ba nagagambol ka ng drop ball na wala ka naman sa posisyon? Ha? Iset lang ang bola. May coverage naman. May attacker tayo eh. Ha? Ganda lang ang receive. Receive na natin. Itulang natin doon sa gitna. Ha? Para makaikot to si Rich. Ha? May porsyento naman tayo.
That's the balance, Sheila, that Mapua needs to figure out now. You want to be able to be more efficient. Of course, you want to score points. You cannot be too risky, but at the same time, you cannot be too safe as well.
Well, in that last sequence, Pulga, decided to drop that ball, but then he wasn't in the right position, and that was, the point of Coach Dolores.
And the rare ace again, scored by UST, adding to the troubles of Mapua here, as Coach Paul Dolores will send some reinforcements in. Basa's checking into the match right now. Redido to serve. That's short. If not for the service errors of UST, they would have been up by a
Right.
large margin already.
That's correct.
Still, it's a 2-point lead for them. San Andres. They go to Medina, and that sails long. Down to a 1-point deficit that MAPUA is trying to overcome.
Right.
UST actually
Yes.
asking for a touch ball, but first referee says, nope, no touch.
Well, Medina was already on top of the blockers of MAPUA in that last hit.
Cruz goes back to Medina. Pagulong.
That's an excellent read by Medina.
They go this time to the other side. UST, good defense being shown here. Medina with the off speed. And that is gonna be a point to tie the match at 20 apiece. Pagulong once again providing for MAPUA.
You'll wonder where he get that strength,
Yeah.
every time he attacks that ball.
He just comes out of nowhere. And then, gets a point and then goes back to his position.
Hindi mo kaya. Hindi yun, yung ilang atake mo, outside, lugaw. Hindi ko maintindihan, yan naman si pa-cross na palo. Sino ang blocker doon? O tapos, short. Yung nga masarap kabigin eh. Kasi hinihintay mo dito sa labas. Ba't hindi ka mag-adjust? Saan ba galing si Lawrence yung nag-set? Sa gitna ba? O nasa dulo? Let's go. Hey!
One more look at this play earlier, and it's Pagulong really, who has been breathing life into the Cardinals. But I want to hear your thoughts on what Coach Oji was frustrated about.
Well, in that timeout, he was focusing
On
on
Medina.
On Medina because 2 back-to-back attack errors, that's causing the issue on the side of UST.
And Coach Oji knows that his team has the ability to really take control of this match, of this set. And they were once up by a good margin already, had a 3-point lead earlier, but now it's MAPUA on top, 21-20. Oh, and that's
An
a poor
overset,
set,
yes.
yeah. And suddenly MAPUA has put a lot of pressure on UST.
Nagkamali siya, tapos... Sorry, mali siya. Sorry, ako na magsasorry. Wilson, kunin mo 16. Hindi mo nagagawa ng paraan kasi nagkamali na siya ng set. Yung sinasabi ko sa'yo, hindi kayo nagbabasa ng release ng setter. Pasok lang kayo ng pasok. Gusto nyo, yun lang nasa isip nyo. Ano to, walang perfecto lahat. Tanda mo na ulit.
Medina taking a beating, a verbal beating from Coach Oji Mamon. And Coach Oji, you can understand why he's unhappy.
Right.
As a series of errors that Medina committed. And I'm sure it's also a matter of challenging his team captain, to take his game to the next level.
That's right. And the thing is, your role comes accountability. And in that last sequence, Cruz already set that ball to Medina, but then he was not able, didn't even attempt to hit or even try to drop that ball. And then sabi nga ni Coach Oji, kapag nabigay na sa'yo yung bola, then you have to, play your role as a spiker. But that is, a remarkable defense at the net for MAPUA.
And MAPUA now 2 points away from taking set number 2. Can they complete this comeback? Cruz. MAPUA, a chance here again. Pagulong. It's kept alive by UST, but a double touch. And UST with an error there. MAPUA now at set point.
Well, you have to commend the effort of Redido reading that check ball or getting that dig. But Senyoron, you know, a bit uncertain in the second ball, committing an error.
That's a beautiful play there for UST. And the Tigers are just trying to restore order here. It's going to be Magpayo serving for the Tigers. One mistake, and they give up a set to MAPUA. UST breathing here. MAPUA calls for time.
Hindi mo ata nakikita. Oh, isa lang, ha?
Go.
Chance ball. Chance ball ang serve. Focus lang. Isa lang, ha? Same. Ilipat ulit natin. Tama yung play natin. Mali lang yung bato mo. Game ha? Commit lang. Approach ka lang ng todo. Ha? Paluin mo lang, ha?
The Cardinals looking for that final point to even the set count one apiece. UST doing their very best to stay alive here. Basilio will check in for serving purposes. Ivan Basilio, first piece of action he's seeing in this match. Combination, it's sent back. Another block there. That one penetrates, but there's a joust, and MAPUA has completed their comeback in the second set. They tie things up one apiece.
Pagulong was unstoppable in that last 3 attacks. You know, that was back-to-back hits from Pagulong, and hindi pa siya nakontento. He was still covering that ball, and a good read and attempt, you know, for that ball to cross over UST's court.
25-22 in favor of UST in the first set. 25-22 in favor of MAPUA in the second set. And things are about to get more exciting here in the Spikers turf. We bring you the third set in a bit. Back inside the Paco Arena, Chot Sulit and Sheila Salaysay bringing you action of the Spikers Turf Open Conference. We are all evened up because MAPUA took this 25-22 win in set 2.
That's correct. But when it comes to their offense, UST takes the lead. Blocks, it was Mapua more solid for this set. But when it comes to errors, it's the Tigers, committing back-to-back attack errors as well. And that actually, took a toll on their performance for the second set.
We were mentioning earlier that the reason that Mapua lost the first set was because of errors. They actually had even number of errors with a UST 12 apiece in that first set. But in the second set, it was UST just losing control of their own selves.
And I have to commend the performance of Pagulong and San Andres. Their tandem in the open, and attacking department, created that spark for Mapua, to continue getting those points and finally winning a set as a service error to start off on the side of Tigers.
That's not how you want to start a set, especially when you're coming off of another set that you lost because of errors. However, if you're Mapua, the same statement applies.
And I have to say we have, an even playing field right now.
Absolutely. De La Cruz was brought in to replace Medina towards the end of that second set. Here's UST. Sawa puts it up. Senyoron. And I think that graced the hands of Cruz. And that's why it's a point for Mapua.
And earlier we also, talking about Senyoron becoming very eager on his attacks. Why? Because nababantayan na siya ng blockers ng Mapua.
Uh-oh. Errors from the service area starting to pile up for Mapua. The 2 points that UST has gotten here in set 3, both came from service errors of the Cardinals. Here's Mapua. Yep. He tried to come up with something, but UST ready for whatever it was. It was a difficult angle already for Egan, so he just tried to hit it, and UST saw the opportunity there, turned it into gold.
Egan committed the same error earlier, and he has to make an adjustment on deciding right then and there on how to attack.
Chance ball for UST. Cruz, he went there for floor, and they get the point on that off-speed attack.
Another problem again between Egan and Hizon on the blocking department.
It really has been the challenge for Mapua, not just in this match, Sheila, but even in that match against Santa Elena. The net defense has to improve for the Cardinals.
But that attack from San Andres was too long.
He has been very aggressive, that's for sure. Perhaps a little bit of built-up aggression there. Tabios going back to San Andres, and he makes sure this time that he knew exactly what he wanted to do.
That set was really too close at the net looking at this replay, but this guy, dauntless, on giving off strong attacks.
Here's UST. Can they answer? And yes, they can. Senyoron scores on the touch ball.
Senyoron, not as aggressive as we've witnessed him in their previous match.
Yeah, he was really the source of points against Arellano. But this time, he's getting a lot more help. And like we said earlier, parang gigil talaga in some parts of this match.
Right.
So maybe what's best for him right now is to get his rhythm, find his groove, and let others help. Guys like Redido.
You don't know how Redido approaches and hits that ball. You can see the sobrang bilis. He's able to find the gap in between the blockers.
Redido has done a lot for UST in this match. Oh, that is in. Senyoron committed a number of service errors earlier in the first two sets, but this time he gets an ace. 8-3 in the first technical timeout of set 3.
Naka-overrate siya.
Oh, Team Bagets, focus.
Basta likod ka, tulong ha. Hindi yung aasa mo lahat sa libero. Basta parating sa inyo, malapit sa inyo, magsalita kayo, wag yung nagkikindatan pa kayo. Makikita nyo ba yung bola at saka yung tindat ng kasama nyo?
Mas okay na ano.
Binokyo. Kahit sabi mo na, ikaw, di ba? Yung mga sa ibabaw ng net, huwag mo nang hintay atakin yun, ikaw nang matake. Anybody's ball na yan, ha?
Magaling kayo ha. Hindi kayo. Sige.
UST!
UST, this is the strongest start to a set that we've seen from them in this match, because in the first two sets, it was MAPUA dictating early. But the Golden Tigers here saying, not anymore, not anymore.
And the first time I've heard Coach Oji again, joke
Yeah,
to
I
his
was about to say
players,
that
yeah.
too. Because he had been tight, you know, in the first two sets, mainly because he was unhappy with how they were playing. But now they're up by a fairly good margin, although it's still early in the set. Oh, look at that. The center, Lawrence Cruz. Reversal of roles, and the entire team enjoys that piece of action.
You know, it's a domino effect when your teammates performs better, naihila ka nila pataas. And that is what is happening, especially they are up here big, 6 points.
Senyoron, he's found his rhythm here.
That's the second service ace for Senyoron.
Ito yung kanina niya pa sinusubukan gawin. Although earlier, number of errors, looks like he's found what he's trying to do.
Ayun yung advantage. Nandun yung setup sa harapan. Hindi natin maximize yung galaw natin dyan. Iikot ako. Single back ako. Simplihan nyo lang. Habang nasa harapan pa yung setup, dapat advantage tayo dyan sa ikot na yan. Tayo pa hindi makapatay dyan. Diyan tayo nanalo kanina. Istigan natin yung tao. Isang focus muna. Kailangan mo na makita. Sige lang, sige lang. Tara, boy. Ulit lang, ulit lang. Sige lang.
Oh, Jay, ba?
Lots to talk about for MAPUA right now because they've given up a lot of points to UST. They actually started this set with the first point. But suddenly, you know, this run for UST behind Senyoron, who has 8 points in the third set alone, Sheila. That's 5 attack points and 3 aces.
Well, it took him 2 sets to be able to find his groove. And not just Senyoron, but almost everyone on the side of UST.
Yeah, for Redido, that's also his second point. Second attack, at least, of the third set. So it's been those two guys carrying the fight for the Golden Tigers here. You know, not to take away anything from Medina, but what Coach Ochi saw there, you know, there was something off with at that moment. So he tried something new, maybe a new mix of players, and look at what this unit has accomplished for UST.
Yes, and I was looking at Coach Oji earlier when Senyoron, you know, committed another service ace, and he was, you know, applauding Senyoron. 3 service aces this time. But that is his first service error.
Yeah. You know, you never want to give up a point, but I think that's forgivable for Senyoron after what he did for his team. They go this time to Redido. Oh, it's a point for MAPUA. A violation, I believe. Attack was not over for Redido. Menjola Good receive. The running from floor doesn't work. But that attack also not over for Pagulong.
Pagulong did have much area to approach that set. Naipilit na, kumbaga, and that caused hitting that towards the net.
Sinubukan gawa ng paraan, but it was just a little bit too tight. MAPUA in need of a run here, but Pagulong gets sent back. Triple block for UST, working to perfection.
The second time around, still the defenders of UST able to see that hit very well. And everyone, celebrating. Bakit hindi? They are performing in all aspects, both offense and defense.
They tried to go for the dump. De La Cruz. He thought it was a point already. He was ready to celebrate. But ball kept alive by MAPUA. Chance here. That's a chance ball.
Yes, Redido was not ready for that back row attack.
I thought it was a nice play, but just the angle of the attack from Hizon, it goes out. And nothing working well for MAPUA at this point, Sheila. It's Redido serving. MAPUA, where do they go? Pagulong. He has been neutralized here in the third set. Senyoron. They will try again. Over set. And that's going to be a point for UST.
Well, Pagulong touched that net, cleared a violation, and easy point for the Tigers.
MAPUA's score barely moved from the first technical timeout. UST up 16-5 now in the second.
Good, contribute lang. Yung diskarte mo, hintayin mo ang middle, bigay sa iba. Hintayin mo ang quicker, bigay sa iba. Pag nagpa-jump set ka, put mo na lang sa kanya, huwag na pahirapan. UST!
Now that's more like the Coach Oji Mamon that we know. Light, sharing laughs and jokes to his players. Now he can do it because he's up by 11 points.
Well, definitely. And, the reason of that huge lead and created that spark for UST is Senyoron with the back-to-back service aces. And, of course, with the help of Redido.
It's been those two guys for sure here in set 3.
And one thing I like about that huddle is that they talked about teamwork and sharing the ball, sharing responsibilities. And that is, I believe, what Coach Oji wants to see. Because earlier, it has been Redido showed all along, and then no attack coming from Senyoron. But this time, everybody delivering for the Tigers.
Well, you probably saw a familiar face on the bench, on the coaching staff of UST as they score another point here. And that's why Senyoron is really trying to live up to the pressure of wearing number 8, because before him, it was someone named Mark Alfafara who was wearing that number. And as we know, one of the greatest products of UST in recent history. Like we said about Senyoron earlier, Redido commits an error, but you cannot be perfect for an entire set. And perhaps you forgive him after how he's helped his team take a double-digit advantage here in set 3. Hizon, however, serving now for MAPUA. Cruz going to De La Cruz. And like you said earlier, nagkakahawaan yan eh. When one or two players are playing well for your team, it's like the rest follows. And De La Cruz getting his share, or chipping in his share rather, of points.
They know their places, areas to cover, the kind of attacks na ibibigay nila. Presence of mind is obvious for UST.
Pulga. That was off the block. Sanado getting that point from MAPUA. And Sanado now is able to deliver. Mapua is just really trying to get contributions from pretty much everyone.
The second time around for
really
service to hit the
surprised.
antenna.
I don't think I've covered the game. This is the first game I've covered that I've seen a serve hit the antenna, and it happened twice.
Yes.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but it doesn't happen too often, right?
Yes, it doesn't.
Ooh, solid coverage there for Magpayo. Twice the prize. Magpayo, relentless on the net. Look at this. That's already the second. Before that, he also had a solid rejection.
Right.
What happened here, Sheila, in the third set? It seems like USC just shifted to a whole new level, to a whole new gear.
They finally, got into their groove, able to make adjustments when it comes to their offense and defense. And I have to say it again, it was Senyoron, who started to, create more points and uplift, the Tigers in the third set.
De La Cruz, his attack was too wide. Cruz, oh, Magpayo was on top of that ball. Beautiful setup too from Lawrence Cruz. He put the ball exactly where Charlie Magpayo needed it to be. De La Cruz. It's San Andres with a great attack there. Sending it to the back. You see now the confidence that UST has gained. Even if they weren't able to get that ball, they get to smile. They're holding on to a lead that allows them to kind of make some errors here and there. But of course, you don't want to get too complacent. And you have to be able to counter with plays and attacks like that.
Mapua, having a tough time here, trying to work on their defense as well because of this lead, comfortable lead of UST.
Serving now for UST is Basilio.
We didn't see some action from Basilio in their previous match.
He's the service specialist for UST, but that time commits an error. And that's why he smiles and apologizes to Coach Oji. Mark Egan on the other side. Sorry, Sheila.
That's right. So it's okay. Another opportunity for some of the players of Coach Oji, to give some playing time.
Here's UST. Oh, look at that. Mapua gave up a chance ball, but they stayed ready. They knew an attack was coming, and they covered it very nicely. Getting a block there was Hizon.
Well, that setup was a bit short for Redido.
Yeah, he had to adjust. Play was halted momentarily. Mark Egan, 12 serving 22. Redido, that one was not over. So a couple of attack errors from UST.
But that's an excellent one-hand set there by Cruz.
It's still a long ways to go for Mapua, but you gotta start somewhere. Like we said, UST, even though with this big lead, cannot be complacent. Because you know that even if you win this set, there's another one to be won. So you want to keep putting some pressure on the opponent. But this large advantage after that attack from Senyoron allows Coach Oji to rest. Oh, for now, Senyoron, maybe get him ready for set 4. Medina checks back in. He's on.
Redido was left alone to defend that net, and Rainier Floor, didn't expect that kind of setup.
Mapua humming here towards the end of set 3. Redido off the block.
You know, you can see how confident Redido is every time nabibigyan siya ng magandang setup.
It really is, you know, for an attacker, that's all you hope for, right? You know, for that set to be put where you need it to be.
And convert to a point.
And Medina, in his comeback into this match, puts the punctuation mark on set 3. UST taking this one 25-14. They really took command here.
Exactly. You know, they were able to dominate this set. Everything seems to be working on their favor, starting from their defense, services, and offense.
And UST now up 2-1. Can they complete and get the win in set 4? We'll find out. This is what happened in set 3. And here now in set 4, the pressure is on MAPUA. They were able to get set 2, their first set win here in the Spikers Turf Open Conference 2019. But set wins don't really matter to these teams. What they want is a one match, a one game.
It's always, you know, back to 0 every time we start a match. And that's, you know, the reminder most of the time of the coaches na kapag nagsisimula na yung set, you know, level ulit tayo. It's on an equal playing field.
By the way, thank you for joining us on One Sports. If you're watching via Facebook, YouTube, or on a Signal TV, thank you for joining us. Judd Sulit and Sheila Salaysay here. And that is the first point of set 4, and it belongs to UST.
Well, Puga trying to be more creative when it comes to the plays. But, you know, UST already has that momentum on their side.
And this is the first set that they were able to get the first point, because in sets 1, 2, and 3, MAPUA actually got the opening point of the set. And you see UST now more loose than they were in the earlier stages of this match. Oh, the dig was good, but no one getting that second ball.
Well, man, no communication for UST in that last play. Well, it was Cruz who was able to get that first ball, and they are expecting Magpayo to get the second.
nang hinayang si Cruz because he knew he made a good play that time. But a service ace for San Andres, who has been trying his very best to fight, to lead the fight for MAPUA. After that ace, he commits an error.
Masyadong nagmamadali itong ating mga servers. And, you have 8 seconds given, to you at the service area to get your composure.
De Los Reyes. Sorry, check that. That's De La Cruz. But it was Redido who got the point there.
MAPUA already expecting that Redido will give off another strong attacks. That is one reminder that Coach Paul told them earlier, kailangan yung magbasa.
I think that is something that the attackers of UST, whether it's Señoron, it's Redido, or in his setter Cruz, still found a way to score the point.
It's an excellent combination play. Sanyado, did not expect that kind of setup. And the earlier Sanyado played open. And now he's a quicker.
Egan. Now, if there's one person that UST has completely taken out of this game, it's Mark Egan. We haven't really felt much from that man, especially, expecting him to lead MAPUA since he top scored for them against Santa Elena.
Well, he hasn't been given, setups that he prefers, or having a tough time adjusting, or nababasa na ng blockers ng UST. But another net touch was committed by Navas. That's another point awarded to UST.
Navas wanted to beat Señoron to that ball at the net. Over-aggressive. Magpayo. Navas will try to attack. Got it past the net defense, but Cruz was there. And UST, after a good defensive play, they turn it into a point. And they again have taken a big early lead here in set 4 rather. 8-3 is our score in the first technical timeout.
Papasok yung set. Diba dapat nakaharap ka rin? Uy! Yung bola pag ni-receive na papunta dito, sige, sipagan mo, baka sakaling mahila mo, mag-opposite setting man siya. Diba? Okay, ilabot sa'yo, may iwan naman yung middle dyan. Dapat di, pagka lumayo lang, ayaw lang.
Hey, go! Go! Tuloy ah! Hey, UST!
Games on Thursday will still be here at the Paco Arena in Manila, the home of the Spikers Turf. IEM versus Adamson, CEU versus Air Force, and then the Army will also take action in the last match. And it's always entertaining games as you're watching here at the Spikers Turf. So we invite you. We'd love to have you on board always on One Sports, but if you can come here to the Paco Arena, then we'll be more than happy to have you. UST right now has taken full control of set 4. And as I say that, of course, that happens. An error for the Tigers.
But still, they can afford to commit mistakes at this part of the set, as they are leading here big.
But remember back in set 3, towards the latter part of that set, there was a run, a mini run from MAPUA. So if UST is not careful here,
Right.
MAPUA will take advantage of every opening that they see from here on out.
Yes, they got a bit more complacent because ang laki ng lamang nila eh.
Oh, a touch on that ball. And Señoron, ever since he found his groove in the third set, Sheila, that guy has been unstoppable.
And looking at the guys on the side of MAPUA, this is not the usual first 6 of Coach Paul.
Navas, good attack. using the blockers of UST. And Navas has come off the bench for Coach Paul Dolorias and has provided them a boost here.
No, he's been trying to do that a few times already.
Cruz puts it up. Senyoron does the rest. Wow. You know, I think he does. Did he hear us say that he wasn't, or he hasn't been as effective as he was against Arellano? Because yes, really taken his game to a whole new level ever since that third set. San Andres. One more time. He lost power in that second attack. A chance ball though for MAPUA. San Andres sent back again. He will try one more time. Cruz, soft touch. San Andres wants it again. Oh boy. UST. Defensively, they've been ready,
Yes.
but a rally like that was crazy action, Sheila. And eventually, someone has got to give.
And you know, it's not San Andres who gave up in that last play. 4 consecutive attacks from this guy. Kitang-kita mo how he wanted to get that point on their side.
Cruz. The running attack from floor. A signature for Rainier Floor. Yung mga play kasi like what happened earlier with the aggression and the relentlessness of San Andres. Nakaka-shift ng momentum yung mga
Yes.
ganyan eh. So important yung point ni Floor for UST. Well, look at San Andres though. You gotta admire the will of that guy. But on the other side of the floor, the defense of MAPUA was not ready. You have all praises. I have all praises for this guy, you know.
But still, you know, he needs a reinforcement for them to be able to close this gap.
And look at that, you know. Silva just not making a play for it, thinking it was going to be out, but it sails in, and now UST with a 7-point lead.
Oh, basta resiban muna natin ng maganda. Simplihan mo lang ang play. Patakbay mo to si Red. Yes, nandito pa rin naman yung advantage natin. Basta cover lang. Malayo pa yan. Gumalaw lang kayo ng normal dyan. Balik nyo yung enjoyment nyo sa loob ng court, ha? Yun lang importante dyan. Sige, go.
Coach Paul really going back to the basics. You know, more than the fundamentals of the game, he wants his boys to enjoy what they're doing out there on the court. And as we've seen and we've proven through time, it's really a large part of volleyball.
I totally agree. No, it's one aspect that players sometimes forgets when they are playing. You know, apart from showing, you know, your willingness to win, performing, you know, one really essential is that you enjoy what you are doing.
I know it's hard for MAPUA to enjoy right now, though, because they are down by 8 points. But slowly, if UST is committing errors, that's an opening for the Cardinals.
And they need to be able to take advantage, you know, of those opportunities.
Sometimes we sound like broken records when we always keep saying that it's taking advantage. You know, you have to be able to see those opportunities, make the most of those, take advantage of them. But that's the thing about volleyball, you know. An error of opponent is 1 point. An attack for your team is 1 point. And it's really such a quick game that you cannot lose sight of opportunities in front of you.
That's right. And those errors given up by UST are 2 straight points already for MAPUA.
And this is exactly what we were talking about. Opportunities. The Cardinals looking to mount a comeback here in the 4th set. But Magbayo, his version of the running attack, a quick one too. Earlier it was Floor, now it's Magbayo. And Cruz has done a marvelous job initiating different attackers for UST.
And then utilizing the attacker na nagpo-perform, because in the earlier set, you know, we saw a lot of errors coming from Redido, and then it was when Senyoron stepped up from his services. This time it's Magpayo doing the works.
You need to be able to determine kung sino yung mataas ang kumpiyansa at the moment, no, if you're a setter. Could this be giggle again, Sheila?
It's a
That
bit
we're seeing?
off timing here at medyo malayo yung set sa net for Senyoron.
San Andres. The definition of will and never give up for Mapua. Almost got a point there, the Cardinals were talking about. Silva. Pulga had to give up a chance ball. Magpayo. Good coverage for Mapua. Cruz goes to De La Cruz.
A remarkable effort for Mapua on their defense, but still, it was a UST who took over, you know, that attack.
Take one more peek at that play. Cruz to De La Cruz. And really, Mapua starting to get frustrated as they were not able to get to that ball in time. We'll cut to a short break. More of the fourth set when we return.
Special delivery na yung hatid sa bola. Yes. Sino magsiserve? Ano talaga serve mo? Para sa mga luga, wala yung target. Ganun mo silang okay. Ano yun? Ilan na lang yan? Okay. Hey, UST! Okay yan.
UST, it started in the third set where we felt their full potential, the full power of the Golden Tigers. They never looked back since.
That's right, and ever since they were able to get that momentum, dictating the tempo of our match. But you know, Mapua still trying to cope and even attempting to get their points, you know, with San Andres and of course Pagulong, but still having a difficult time.
Wow, that is...
You know, that was the reminder of Coach Oji in their timeout, the service.
And that's why they're laughing. Because Coach Oji, in that last timeout, he asked De La Cruz, ano ba talaga serve mo? Because he started out na hindi jump serve eh. And then he shifted.
But you know, you cannot take risk all the time, yung mga ganong errors. But for UST, you know, having seeing that combination play.
A combination, as we know, it's beautiful, but it's a basic, you know, one of the basic plays din naman sa volleyball. But whenever it happens, it's just really a thing of beauty, Sheila. Especially when it's done perfectly, just like UST did.
Well, in that last play, nawala yung blockers ng Mapua, and that's Senyoron taking control of that play. Another attack error for Mapua this time. That's Basas.
Yeah, Basas. A bit too far then talaga from the net that set, and it was difficult for him to come up with something. Magpayo loading up his serve. Pulga goes to San Andres. Senyoron sends a missile to the side of Mapua.
And defenders of Mapua, you know, cannot stop and control that kind of hits down the line by Senyoron.
7-point lead for the Golden Tigers. Magpayo at the service line. I'm sure UST starting to smell a first victory in the Spikers turf, but they still have some ways to go.
Well, they are implementing the reminder of Coach Oji to have that combination play. But in that last setup that we saw, miscommunication clearly, hindi nila alam kung sinong kukuha ng bola na yun.
Here's again, Mapua. Egan with a good serve. Pulga goes to Navas. but that is too wide. It's out. Again, a 7-point lead for UST. Did you notice any adjustment on UST's side that allowed them to get bigger leads here in sets 3 and 4?
They just minimize their errors and that they are more focused, in the last 2 sets that they've been playing, taking control of everything and showing dominance in all departments against MAPUA.
Senyoron, however, Senyoron has really been contradicting what
Yes.
we've been saying. We praised him earlier, he committed an error. You said that they were minimizing their errors, he commits an error. But he has done a great job for UST. Again, going back to that third set, he was the one who sparked the surge of UST. But this time, MAPUA saying, we won't let you escape so easily. The Cardinals putting up a string of points. Navas will be serving. Oh, that is far short. And
No.
for UST now,
No, they cannot commit those kind of errors, especially if they want to nab another set against UST.
Redido targeting Navas. San Andres through the defense of Flor and Medina.
No, that's a short set for San Andres, and the blockers are already in position to defend that. But that strong attack from San Andres penetrating the defense, well, unexpected on the side of UST.
Nagtanggal na ng jacket si Coach Oji. Does that mean anything?
It could be nag-iinit na siya with our match because still for MAPUA, pwede pa silang makahabol. There is still a possibility.
Flor at the service area. Pulga goes to San Andres.
San Andres.
He was about to get that ball.
Yes. Well, knowing where he is at the part of the court, that's already an advantage and a good decision for him not to get that.
Quick thinking. And you see something else. Inantay kasi ni Medina yung bola eh. And the angle of his hands as well allowed the Medina to San Andres to use it. And then followed up by another point from MAPUA. They are just down by 4 here, Sheila. And this is what we were talking about. If you're UST, you cannot be complacent because MAPUA will not give up until this match ends.
Right. Well, that's Magpayo and Casillan not connecting in that last setup. That forces Senyoron to come back in.
MAPUA refusing to go quietly. Pulga. Cruz will go to Magpayo. Coverage was good. But look at San Andres. He saw the opening and floated that ball over the triple block.
Well, smarting na the defense there of UST and talaga naman ang laki nung area na yon for on their side.
Sabi ko sa inyo, babalik at babalik tayo sa basic. Serving, saka passing. Hindi puro palo. Wala palo pag wala kang asa.
Mas sa akin, pati sana foundation.
Uy, diskarte. Ano lang ha, porsyento. Ba't tayo na makukulit?
Ba't tayo lumulungkot?
Now the smiles of UST that they wore in the entire set 3 and in the early goings of set 4 have slowly faded away from their faces. And even the joy in the huddles of Coach Oji Mamon. But they want to finish things now. But MAPUA, like we said, just not giving up.
That's right. Yes,
yeah,
no, they're leading big earlier.
De La Cruz, though, with that cross-court hit. And it's now the turn of MAPUA to call a timeout. He put a lot of power in that. And even with a double block in front of him, De La Cruz says, I got this, coach.
Iwan, ha?
Pag wala,
Pag,
tama mo ko.
pag maganda ang receive, ituloy ha. Pag pangit, buka. Ha? Tawag lang kung maganda. Tuloy, tuloy. Pag pangit, kalas. Ha?
Kulang isa. Isa lang muna, ha? Tapos mag-serve, ha?
Go, go.
Sabi ba? Puwa!
Salita kayo sa likod.
Never in the history of volleyball has there been a three-pointer or a two-pointer. And that's why MAPUA understands that the way they get back into this is by focusing 1 point at a time, whether it be a stop or an attack. They just have to get things done.
No, but there was a time when they were deciding if the back row attack will become 2 points. Pag nakapatay ka,
okay.
yeah, there was a time.
That would make things interesting, actually.
Yes, I totally agree. And that was when, a lot of plays coming from the back row became apparent.
Cruz. Oh, Senyoron sails that too long.
He was just below that ball. Yun ang may kasamang gigil. That's why it totally, fly.
And look at Coach Oji Mamon in the ears of his players. Magpayo. Chance ball. MAPUA. MAPUA ties it up. 23 apiece in set 4.
What a comeback for MAPUA in this part of our match. UST became a little bit complacent earlier. That was, capitalized by MAPUA.
Binibigyan kita ng instruction, magmamalaki ka sa akin. Hindi po pwede. Ha? Kasi hindi na ako magsisinungaling. Wala ka ng pasa, pinagpipilitan mo pa sarili mo. Hindi mo sa kasama mo. Hey! UST!
De La Cruz receiving some reminders from Coach Oji. And Coach Oji, I'm sure part of him is shocked as well. They lost a 7-point lead they once held here. Can they get the lead back? Senyoron is able to bring them to match point.
Right, and plus that net touch by MAPUA.
Yeah, even before Senyoron got the point, actually, the violation was committed by MAPUA. MAPUA fighting for dear life. San Andres keeps it up. Senyoron puts an end to this match.
And an excellent down-the-line attack for Senyoron. And you have to commend this hard work for the Tigers.
There was a scare from MAPUA towards the latter part of set 4. But UST showed some composure and they went back to the man who carried them against Arellano. He again delivered big time here today, and perhaps the biggest point was that one. A down-the-line hit to get them their first win in the Open Conference.
That's correct, and everyone on the side of UST did their part, although they lacked short towards the end, but they were able to recover.
More to talk about this match between UST and MAPUA in just a bit. Don't go anywhere. We'll wrap things up after this break. our player of the game here with us from the UST Golden Tigers, who took a 4-set victory in this one against MAPUA University, Lawrence Señoron. Lawrence, 11 attacks, 1 block, and 4 aces. You came off masakit na talo against Arellano. Almost there, hindi umabot. What did you guys adjust coming into this match against MAPUA?
Nag-adjust kami pagdating sa passing namin sa first ball kasi doon kami nagkaroon ng problem nung first game namin. So, meron din kami na-adjust sa blockings. Kaya sa attacks, kayang-kaya naman lumaban. Nag-adjust din kami sa more teamwork pa kasi halos puro bata kami lahat.
Nung first at second set dito against MAPUA, parang hindi pa lumalabas yung laro nyo talaga eh. Pero nung third set, you personally took over and that set the tone na. Doon na nakabuelo talaga ang UST. What happened in that third set na bigla kang gumana?
Siguro, bigla lang akong uminit na naramdaman ko sa katawan ko na siguro kailangan ko na mag-work pa kasi nagkulang ako nung first to second set kaya kailangan ko pa mag-work para mapanalo namin yung game.
Lawrence, marami pa kayong mga laban. Ito na pagkakataong pasalamatan, imbitahan lahat ng sumusuporta sa iyo at sa UST.
Okay. Thank you po sa lahat ng supporters ng UST. Just keep on supporting po and we will be performing our very best po. And hi sa family ko sa Paranaque, Señoron family, Carago family. You know.
Congrats again, and let's take a look at the match highlights now. UST versus MAPUA.
Well, the Tigers roar louder for this match as they won in 4 sets, 25-23, 22-25, 25-14, and 25-23. Well, better beginning for MAPUA in the first set as they lead until the first technical timeout. But, you know, errors from the service line were given up and easy points were awarded to UST.
Like Lawrence said, in the first 2 sets, hindi pa sila talaga nag-iinit eh.
Yes.
They just couldn't get their rhythm yet. And you'll see MAPUA put a lot of pressure. Actually, MAPUA, you know, in that second set, we saw UST, even they were quite surprised that MAPUA was able to take that second set. Not that they're underestimating their opponents, pero they were in control for most of that second set.
Yes, but you know, Pagulong and San Andres really, you know, delivered and pitched in for that part of the second set, you know, already showing, you know, what they are capable of.
But then in sets 3 and 4, ayun na, pretty much all UST, aside from that scare from MAPUA late in the 4th set, these are the numbers. One thing that pops out, attack points, plus 19 for UST.
Definitely. Well, we saw earlier, you know, it was an even match. Well, we're also talking about their errors committed, give and take of points, you know, doing their job. But it was UST who took control and really embraced their role, you know, towards the end of the game.
Yep, and UST taking their first win in the Open Conference. The game's on Thursday. Paco Arena pa rin ang ating venue. It's going to be IM versus Adamson, CEU versus Air Force, and the Army taking on PLDT Home Fiber. You can watch all of those games exclusively on One Sports. That does it for our triple header on a Tuesday. It's UST overcoming MAPUA for their first win. For my partner, Sheila Salaysay, for everyone behind this coverage, this is John Sulit. Thank you for watching Spikers Turf.